Hey, um, it's the 10th of July. It's quite late and it's kind of sort of past my bedtime. I hope I can get to sleep because I haven't stayed up this late in a minute. I had the idea recently, inspired by Mimi, to go back and watch some videos from a few months ago now. 6 months ago, a lot of the videos were pretty long. And there's something I said in one particular part of this video. This is a little bit before that. I don't know how long we're gonna go, and things got kind of personal. I was very fresh off of some stuff. This is March 13th. So I believe this was right after Mercury went direct in Pisces. And we were in that post shadow period. I think Mercury went direct like March 9th or March 10th or something like that. But let's just get into it. I hope the audio balance is good. And it's almost a little like, oh, like look at us.
Everything to allow things in, because like you see, those are airtight. There's nothing getting in between those pinnacles. Nothing can get in there. So like you're learning to loosen up and not be so hard on yourself, and you're learning to let go of all of the nasty stuff from the past, and that's exactly the space I was in. That's exactly the space I was in.
Why am I getting like
It was like October
nervous?
2018 when I reached the point when I was like, everything has to change. And a lot of that
I've
honestly
talked
wasn't
about this.
necessarily like relationship based for me. A lot of it was things that I was telling myself I couldn't do, things I was telling myself I could never have because I didn't want to get everything I wanted and then lose it all. I had convinced myself that it was better to never have it at all than to have it and to lose it. Um, and I had that mindset from seventh grade until like I was 24, 24. I was 24, like 24 and a half. So for a very long time. Like, and that's why I knew like I had needed a complete foundational overhaul. And some of the friendships I had before, not a lot of them, kind of sort of like one really. Um, some of the friendships I had before didn't necessarily survive the change. And that one I had, like, we bonded. Basically, our whole thing is that, like, we were depressed and miserable. But I wasn't going to stay depressed and miserable because being depressed and miserable is miserable.
Okay, so now we're getting into the part that I kind of sort of actually wanted to share again. And it's interesting. Oof. Like sometimes the friend I'm about to talk about, sometimes I wonder if he's alright. Because I'm not cruel and heartless. But at the same time, I'm like, do I really want to reopen that can of worms? And the answer is no. But let's continue.
And, like, I'd started getting to a place where I was like, I was lightening up and I was coming back to who I actually am. Like, I have a lot of earth in my chart, but I'm a Sagittarius North Node and I have a little bit of fire. So, like, happy go lucky and just like,
Also, like, girl, the fire that I had then compared to the fire that I have now, this was only 3 months ago. Or four. This was 4 months ago. 4 months ago now. Oof, it'll be 4 months in 3 days, right? Alright. Sorry I keep interrupting.
jovial and lighthearted and like kind of like jokey is who I actually am. I've become this person who like overthinks and overanalyzes everything because that's the person that I needed to be to make myself cold, to distance myself from people. Um, and so with judgment in reverse, there's a lot of self introspection, and this isn't
And this is
necessarily.
like a lot. So I wanted to reshare this because I feel like when I initially started talking about this, it was kind of sort of like some people do this and some people don't. A lot has happened since March 13th this year. It's so wild because it almost feels like it was so much further back than it was. But sometimes at the same time, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago either. Um, but I think with all of the lockdowns and the quarantines and stuff like that, a lot of people have come into the space that I'm about to talk about. So that's why I wanted to reshare this, I guess, and just to see if this works, you know? Oh, I didn't press play.
Like a process that is self ran. Like you're going to get insights specifically through certain events, and the ones that hit the hardest are when you get those opportunities where you get everything that you want, everything that you say that you're worth, and then through your actions or behaviors you're sort of forced to have the realization that you've been impacted in ways that you may not have even known that you were impacted.
And this, it's interesting because this kind of sort of came up today. This thing is still like uploading, y'all. I don't know why it takes so long to publish these little videos like back in the day. Maybe it's because there are so many people creating content right now since we are in like quarantine and isolation and lockdown, and so many people just like on the servers. Um Actually, wait, it's done. Oh, snap. It's done now. It wasn't done before I started this video, but I'm going to change this thumbnail really quick. Um like this sort of, I haven't listened to this whole thing. If I did, I would go exactly to the spot that I wanted. Um, but this is the part that I was feeling. Oh, it's 111. When I was like, when I was talking about the mirrors, and that would have come up in the first set today. It's like things to release is the title of the video. Um, was it that one? Maybe it was actually the Inquisitor. Whenever I was talking about, it was when the King of Cups was at the bottom of the deck. So it was probably the Inquisitor. I believe it was the Inquisitor because then Death came out in the third one. Yeah, so it was the second one in the Inquisitor, and it's timestamped in the description box. And now that it's published, I can go in and put it in the comments. But when I was talking about how you encounter a mirror, and that person pulls you into the mirror and then they step out of the mirror, so then it puts you into the realm of mirrors where all of your actions are sort of like reflected back at you. It's giving me these vibes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's everybody. It's life. It's life. Things happen to us that we internalize that affect us in our day to day life. It's literally everybody. That's why therapists have jobs, and some pharmaceutical companies make money.
And by the way, hit them up if you can. Therapists are
Same with this,
important.
with certain journeys in life, there are certain types of people who aren't born to stay stuck where they are. And if you're watching this, I believe you're not one of those people. And if you are the person who's on my mind,
Okay. Things are about to get a little mush mush. Things are, hold up, wait. There you go. Things are about to get a little mush mush. Like I said, girl, she was fresh. Okay, she was fresh. So keep that in mind.
I don't know if you're watching or not, but you're most definitely not the type of person who stays stuck. And you know that, and I know that, and everybody knows that. But getting yourself unstuck, it's hard, it's messy, you're probably gonna cry a lot. um, but there are moments in our lives, like when you're talking about towers and when you're talking about Dark Knights. See, I'm supposed to be talking about myself. I mean, I've gone through this, so I am talking about myself still, right? Um, but it's just like, I don't know. No one is inherently born to stay stuck, but a lot of people choose not to free themselves. And then on their deathbeds or later in life, if they make it to later in life, because we can go at literally any time, or like midlife, you start to look and wonder like if what you're doing is actually what you want to be doing, and what would I be doing differently. And then you just, at a certain point, you just get tired. Like you get tired enough of being in the same situations, even when the people aren't there, that you decide to make a difference and you decide to do something and change. And I don't want to necessarily call that a calling, because it's something that is available to everybody. It's something that we all face, and we handle it and we tackle it to different degrees. And so, if you are on a path, on a journey that some may call more spiritual, if you do have what some may call a calling, um, you're going to go through these like multiple dark nights where it's this constant revealing of where you need to love yourself and where you need to let love in, because there's a
Um.
certain healing power.
Okay, so I'm just gonna interject here really quickly, and say that before it was a lot of our own personal things, or in general, it was like personal things being revealed about you. Now there's personal things being constantly revealed about our collective and its shadow, about the collective and its shadow. And all these things need to be addressed and grow. Like, I'm glad I'm at least wearing, like, you can tell I'm wearing a different shirt. Because it is what it is. I'm sorry. I know that I just probably interrupted this at the worst possible time, but you can go and check this video out if you really want to watch it. But I will also, zip the lip.
That like love has. And love is a very, very gentle healer, but it's also very stern. It plays such an interesting dynamic, because it's something that it's like so tender. Love is, it's so, look at me talking about love like I know what it is. Who am I? Who am I? But it's so tender and it's so gentle sometimes that the smallest amount of pressure can constrict it, right? It's just like a heart. The heart is one of the hardiest organs in the body. It works to keep everything else working. But if you put a little bit of pressure on it, it's going to clog up tubes and it's going to stop the blood from getting to the areas that it needs to get to. Um, and so it in and of itself is a tender and gentle thing, but the power and impact that it has is magnificent, magnanimous. It's huge. Um, but wherever love is, there is no judgment, really. Wherever true love is, there is no judgment. There is only love. Love is not judgmental. Love is patient and understanding. Um, but it's that gentle power of it that can really like shake some stuff up. I didn't even look at what was at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so this is my newest deck, also my favorite right now. And like the colors also mean something. And I need to read that more because I
Girl,
forgot what they were. I know
I ain't
aqua
even
is like intelligence,
I ain't even
right?
too
So
much
you see the
use
aqua
that
colors.
deck. I'll probably use it tomorrow
It's like intelligence.
or later today.
And so with this
I
chariot,
think that's it.
there's a
I think that's it. I don't necessarily know what this is. In the future, I will be more prepared. I ramble, y'all, all the time. So I can't even necessarily be like, "Oh, I remember like when I did this, I was going somewhere." Cuz mentally I know sometimes, or I can remember what my trains of thought were. Give me one moment. Let's see if this will work. Like I know where my real personal, real close. I know where my trains of thought go, but I ramble. So Oof, I didn't even watch this full through. I just opened up this video and went right there. Excuse me, to the part where I was talking about whether or not we decide to face our shadows and to strive to do and be more, or whether we sort of get complacent and just let the system, run all its default programs so that we don't have to worry about anything. But that's where I'm gonna end this. I'm just gonna upload this again. Like, the whole video is up on my Legacy channel. I don't think it's privated or unlisted. Excuse me. It's titled "Get to Know Me If You're Interested." LOL. Get to know me. ... If you're interested. LOL. It's really focused on me. Anyway, I'm gonna end this and I'm gonna go to bed and I'm gonna upload this because why not? I also didn't even check the balance between the video audio and my audio. It is what it is, girl. I'm tired. I'll do better next time. Good night, or good whatever time it is where you are.